Let's take a look at the chart action for Uniswap. Here are the two things that I'm looking at. We have a falling channel, something like that, and we also have a possible cup and handle, something like that. Let me show you from scratch how I got there. Alright, so we have resistance right here, and resistance right here. We have support right here, support right here, support right here. We can draw a top trend line, something like this, and then we could draw a bottom trend line, something possibly like that. If we break this downtrend right here, there's a couple things we can kind of target. We have previous resistance right here and previous resistance right here. These are sitting at 27.51 and 31.40. We could also drag from the top to the bottom of this triangle, drag that to the breakout. If we break out right here, we're possibly looking at a target of around 32.23. The other thing we have to look at is we have resistance right here and resistance right here. We could put a trend line going something like this. This target lines up almost perfectly with this trend line right here, sitting at around 32.21, 32.10, something like that. Like I was saying, this kind of looks like a cup and handle pattern. If we break this trend line right here going to the upside, and then we could break this trend line going to the upside as well, we could target from the top to the bottom of this cup, which would be something like this. Try to be conservative about it. Drag that to the breakout, and I'm looking at a target of around 38.40. In general, I think if we could break this area right here, I'll be targeting this area up here, and the top is around 43.21. The top of the body on the daily time frame, that is. If we look at the moving averages, right now we're on the daily time frame, and right now we're above the 9 moving average, but we're below the 180 moving average right here. I think if we could break above this 180 moving average, that's going to be a bullish signal. And you can tell right now that's already been giving us a little bit of trouble. I do like the fact that we are above the 9 moving average though. Right now, Uniswap is up 6% for the day. It's looking a little better than some of the other coins. So let's see if we can keep this momentum going to the upside. Let's jump over to the Uniswap versus Bitcoin chart. So here's what I'm looking at. We have resistance right here, and then we have support all in this line right here. So there's two things that it could be. It could be a possible triangle pattern or a possible maybe head and shoulders pattern. So I'm not really sure until we break to the upside or to the downside which direction we're going, but we are bouncing between these trend lines right now, and we just bounced off the top trend line, and looks like we just tested the top trend line right there. We got rejected, but it does look like we still have momentum going to the upside. We're above the 9 moving average on here, just like on the USD chart, and then we're below it on the 180 moving average. If we could break through that 180 moving average, I think we're going to see a big move for Uniswap. I think if we break this trend line right here, we could target the previous resistance levels. This might give us some trouble right here, but I think we'd probably be targeting somewhere up here. We got to bounce on this bottom, and we came up and we're testing this trend line now. So in general, it looks like we're just kind of bouncing in between these, and I'm just kind of waiting to see if we could break to the upside. I would say keep your eyes on this Uniswap to Bitcoin chart. It's UNI BTC. Alright, so if we jump over the total crypto market cap, here's what we're looking at. We had resistance right here and resistance right here. That's the main trend line that I'm watching until we break that one. Then I'm assuming that we're trending down. So yeah, and then we're in the 4-hour time frame, like I said, and we're forming this kind of triangle pattern right now. I kind of thought it was like a W pattern right here, but we broke to the downside, and it looks like we're kind of testing this trend line right now. We have support right here, and it looks like we're getting a little bit of support right there. Let's see if we can stay up here or if we're going to break it and get pushed down a little bit farther. I think if we break this trend line to the downside right there, we kind of have like a triangle pattern, something going like this. So we might be able to target, if we clean up some of these trend lines right here, you can see that we have a top trend line, something like this, and a bottom trend line like that, and we could do a triangle pattern, something like this. If we drag from the top to the bottom of this triangle, maybe being conservative about it, you can maybe even drag from the top to the bottom over here, drag that to the breakout, and we're looking at a target of around 1.63 trillion, which is the 61 Fibonacci level, somewhere around there. I would probably keep my eye on this 50% level as well. We got support right here. We wicked down for a second, but we did hold support right there. We've been bouncing on that level as well. So we might want to keep our eyes on that 50% level at 1.80. It's also possible that we're getting support right now on this trend line, and we get a bounce up to retest this one up here. Like with Uniswap, I'm kind of watching this triangle pattern, see if we break to the upside or the downside. We're testing the downside right now. Let's see if we could get a bounce and retest this top trend line up here pretty much. Alright, so in general, I think Uniswap on the daily time frame, it looks like it has some potential. But we are testing this top trend line right here. It's possible that we get rejected. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that it is giving us some trouble right now, and we are kind of fighting this 180 moving average right here. Let's see if we could break above. Let's see if we could break above this 180 moving average on the 4-hour time frame. I think that will give us a nice move to the upside, and then start targeting this bigger channel pattern. And then after that, if we could break through this line right here, then maybe we can target this cup and handle pattern. The total crypto market cap looks kind of weird right now. It looks like it potentially could go lower, but it also looks like it potentially can hold support on that trend line that we're sitting at. So we're going to have to wait and see about that as well. That could also be another clue whether we can see a potential move for Uniswap up, or if we're going to get rejected and come back down and have to retest this bottom trend line. Maybe retest these bottoms down here at around 1445 or maybe 1590, something like that. That's what I'll be looking at. If we get rejected and start coming back down, I'll be looking at maybe 1574 or 1440. If we break to the upside, I'll be looking at around 3210, 3220, something like that. Let me know what you guys think. I started another YouTube channel called Chart Action Shorts. If you like the short vertical format videos, go subscribe to this channel as well. Also, if you're on Facebook, come check out my chart action page. Show some love to that. If you guys like the video, hit that thumbs up button.